Okay, guys, sorry. The last time when we were recording, the camera battery died. So what she was saying was basically if the nurse sucks, then she'll make them get their money's worth. Like work for their paycheck. Like call on them, really be on them.
I need some ice water. I need some more ice water.
Yeah.
I need just a cup of ice.
But I thought you were for real. I was gonna say, really? We just started recording. But so basically, all of this is saying that don't kick it. All of this is saying that we have the same disease, the same type of sickle cell, but our bodies are different and it acts differently in your body. I've only been since 2015. I've only been in the hospital once. And she's been in the hospital 4 times. So it can be totally different depending on your body. Totally different. And depending on the person. Or what's going on in your life. Because that affects it too. But yeah,
it affects it a lot.
Yeah. Like stress, getting too excited, getting too upset, too emotional. All of that affects it. Like you basically, if you get too excited, too emotional, all that stuff, you basically start having a crisis. Because it's like you get your body up here, and then like your white count goes up, and then when your white count goes up, that means that there's more sickle blood cells and all of that good stuff. So the other thing that I wanted to talk about is that, you know, having a sibling, because people ask me about this on here all the time. What is it like having a sibling that has it? You feel sorry for your sibling because you don't want them to hurt or be in pain like you. But then on the other hand, there's a positive because you have someone really close to you that can relate. Like, I can be like, man, my knee hurt. Like, she's like, oh, you talking about like when your knee is like this, and that. So we know exactly what each other are talking about. Or if she goes through something, she can be like, you know, yeah, they just going to do this, that. Or just like for another example, I have a port. Now she's getting ready to get a port. I can tell. I've told her like, oh, it's this, it's that, and these are the benefits, and she doesn't have to go on Google like, what is a port? How does a port work? Or she doesn't. We don't have to, even though we are a part of support groups on YouTube and Facebook and all these vlogs and blogs. We already have a support group with somebody who we can relate to because we grew up with it and we already know each other. So it's like we know what each other is going through. So when one of us is sick, we're not like those doctors like, what's your pain level?
From 1 to 10.
Right. So what's your pain level? Okay, is it a high 7 or a low 7?
Closer to 10 or closer to 8?
Oh, okay. Now is it a sharp or a stabbing? Is it an
achy or throbbing pain?
Okay. And where is it again? You said your legs, your arms, and in your back? Oh, everywhere?
Upper back or lower back?
So we already know. I'm like, your legs hurt? She was like, yeah. Your back hurt too? Yeah. You want a heating pad? Yeah. You take your medicine? Yeah. You know it's time for you to take your medicine again. We already know all of that stuff, so that's a positive. I don't know if you have any other ones.
Oh, sorry. I took medicine. I'm sleepy. No. Yeah, that's about it, really.
Yeah, talk louder.
I said that's about it, really. That's the positive with it. And then, like how she was saying, like, especially when it comes to, like, I didn't...
That's my guard dog, Beanie. You guys seen him in pictures before, in videos before. Ignore him. He's ignorant.
Like when I used to have a lot of problems with the nurses at the hospital, and me, the type of person I am, I would just snap on them. But instead, like, she taught me the right way to go about it. Snapping on them ain't gonna do nothing. Okay, their feelings gonna be hurt for a couple seconds, but it's not going to get them in trouble at their job, and they're still getting away with doing with everything that they did and that they're doing to me. She taught me the ways of making sure, okay, you don't want to do your job right, I'm going to go to the head nurse, and then just to make sure the head nurse does her job, I'm going to go to the nurse manager. So you're going to get in trouble, and they're going to have to write paperwork up on you, and I'm going to get somebody who's going to treat me right.
Right.
And a lot of people don't get that. They get nurses and stuff that treat them like crap, even doctors that treat them like crap. Because I went to the nurse managers on doctors. The doctor coming in the room and saying stuff that I didn't like that was very offensive, and they went off. The nurse manager went off on the doctors and told them, like, you can't say that to the patients, especially sickle cell patients, because with them getting upset, you can make them sicker. You can't, it's like certain stuff that they know that they shouldn't be able to do, but nurses and stuff don't care, so you just got to know what to say and who to say it to, and, you know, if you got somebody who knows that, they could help you with it. Like, she helped me with stuff like that.
Yeah. And, I know you get, sickle cell warriors get tired of fighting with, like, the nurses and the doctors, and being treated wrong. But do not give up, because even though I have sickle cell, I've been on the other side in the hospital, so I know how, like, it goes as far as somebody getting written up. I worked in quality improvement, which is basically who you complain to when you want to complain on a nurse, when you want to complain on a doctor, when you want to complain on something in the hospital. Don't give up. Make sure you tell the charge nurse or the head nurse, then also tell the nurse manager, and then if you want to talk to the nurse managers, the director, tell them you want to talk to the director, and then some hospitals have pastors that come around and talk to you and pray for you. Tell the pastor, and the pastor will get that to the person that they're supposed to get it to. Then if that doesn't work, when you leave, when you're at the hospital, if somebody's doing something to you that's not right, hit 0 on your phone, tell the operator will get you to the quality improvement department, and you can complain on them. Or once you get out of the hospital, most hospitals do a survey. Make sure you do the survey. And
keep
when you're
a
in
notepad.
Exactly. When I'm in the hospital, I keep notes on my phone, because you know when that medicine makes us loopy. I type names, dates, times in my phone, and when I do those surveys, I am detailed, like writing a college essay. And if they don't do surveys, write a letter to HR, write it, and send it to HR. And if you send this in there, first of all, it's bad to say, but people in HR like to get other people in trouble. So when you send them that, they're like, oh, okay, such and such on this floor did this. And make sure you keep a copy of it and put your information so that they can contact you. If they do not contact you, when you're feeling better, take your behind up to that hospital with that letter and say, hey, I want to know who can I file a complaint with about bad treatment that I got while I'm at the hospital. There is a department in every hospital that is over the nurses and the doctors. These people just can't treat you however they want. And then if they don't do that, if that doesn't work, go in your Google and look up, how can I report this hospital for malpractice or mistreatment. Just look up these things. Don't just give up, because the thing about if we just start giving up, then they're just going to keep treating us like that. But if we start fighting and sticking up for ourselves, then they're going to be like, man, these sickle cell people, they ain't playing now. We're going to have to treat them right.
They don't treat cancer patients how they treat sickle cell patients.
Right.
Cancer patients and sickle cell patients are just like this. It's almost,
you know what I think is like? Lupus.
Yeah, it is.
Sickle cell
exactly
and
the
lupus.
same.
I think sickle cell is lupus. And you know, I'm not trying to downplay any other disease, because any type of disease anybody has, I know that they have to go through a lot, just like I do. But I will say this, and I really hope nobody takes any offense to this, but this is my channel, and if you don't like it, you can hit the red X and exit out. I feel like, as far as cancer, that's something that can be cured. That's something that you might not have forever. And with sickle cell, there